With the 11th pick in the 2004 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback, University of Miami.
I don't know how to put into words what the game of football has meant to me and what a blessing it has been. While I know with confidence I have given my all to the game, I am overwhelmed with gratitude for all it has given me. A boy from Findlay, Ohio with NFL dreams, developed in Oxford at Miami University, blessed with the honor of 18 seasons as a Pittsburgh Steeler and a place to call home. The journey has been exhilarating, defined by relationships and fueled by a spirit of competition. Yet the time has come to clean up my locker, hang up my cleats, and continue to be all I can be to my wife and children. I retire from football, a truly grateful man. First and foremost, I need to thank the Lord for all the many blessings He has bestowed on me. To my wife Ashley, our children Benjamin, Bailey, and Bodie, you lift and inspire me and give my life purpose. I am so thankful for your love and support. I love you so much. To my parents and sister, every step of the way, your support and love has driven me to be the best and never give up. To the Rooney family, the Tull family, Coach Tomlin, Coach Cowher, and all of the coaches who have poured into me, the incredible people on every level that make the Pittsburgh Steelers a special organization. Thank you for believing in me and allowing me to battle with you in pursuit of excellence. To all of my teammates and the endless friendships that I have gained, I appreciate you and our shared commitment to wearing the black and gold with pride and dignity. Putting that jersey on every Sunday with my brothers will always be one of the greatest joys of my life. To Steeler Nation, the best fans in all of sport, thank you for accepting and supporting me as your quarterback over the years. Football has been a gift, and I thank God for allowing me to play it, surrounding me with great people and protecting me through to the end. With love and honor.
And with that video posted on social media, Ben Roethlisberger announcing his retirement from the game of football. And joining us now with that breaking news, Jonathan Jones, our senior NFL reporter. You saw the video. It's making the rounds now. JJ, what are your thoughts about Big Ben?
Yeah, obviously not any sort of surprise all the time that he took there in his last game at Heinz Field at the end of the season, everything that went into that final playoff game. We all knew that Big Ben was, that this was going to be his last season. He was not going to play anywhere else if somewhere else wanted him, that was not going to be the case. And so he decided not to drag this out and go ahead and post that retirement video today. But we're talking about one of the all-time greats. When you look at where his numbers rank among the all-time quarterbacks, you know, he's top 5, top 6 in plenty of categories, including the important ones. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. That's the most important one. So didn't just do it once, but did it twice, and did it with 2 different head coaches, and among the all-time league leaders in playoff wins. One of the toughest, most durable guys that's played in the NFL, and it's sort of an end that we've seen coming now for some time, not just in the past month or so, but you know, none of us would have been surprised if it had happened last year. But he came out in 2021, and you know, listen, it was sometimes a struggle to see him out there on the field. However, in the fourth quarter, he got the job done. We're talking about 6 fourth-quarter comebacks, 7 game-winning drives. Plenty of quarterbacks out there this year who didn't have any, including a rival in Cleveland, Baker Mayfield. So when the job needed to get done, he got it done. It may not have been pretty there at the end, but still got the Steelers into the playoffs in his final year. And really, without question, Tommy, in 5 years from now, he's going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer in Canton, Ohio.
No doubt about that from me. I'm with you there as well. You talk about it being maybe not pretty at the end at times. His rookie year, not always pretty. Game manager. How would you describe sort of the difference between the first and second Super Bowl and sort of the stages of his quarterback evolution?
Well, you go back to when he came out of Miami of Ohio, and he was just this big, indestructible quarterback, and he was sort of the beginning of what we have come to see. You know, he wasn't always the fastest guy, but you talk about a dual threat. He was a threat running the football. Without question, he could stand in the pocket and deliver every throw. He could move outside and inside of the pocket. He could go past the line of scrimmage and good luck tackling him, even if he didn't use his legs in that way very often. But getting that first Super Bowl win, with Bill Cowher, and then coming back with Mike Tomlin and getting that second Super Bowl win, the domination of the AFC North, having only losing 2 games, I believe, to the Cleveland Browns, having winning records against the Baltimore Ravens, against the Cincinnati Bengals. That's an immediate measuring stick of your success. And you mentioned never having a losing season, dealt with injuries throughout his career, but between the white lines, it's hard to really think of another quarterback who dealt with as many injuries, who was as consistent for about 15 of his first seasons there in the NFL. The last 3 or so years, he really changed his game. He started passing much, much shorter. For the first 15 or so years of his career, he was averaging about 8 yards per attempt. In the last 3 years, it was somewhere around 6 to 6.2 yards per attempt. Much more of a horizontal passing game as the arm started to go with the age, as you just wanted to get the ball in your playmakers' hands. But again, a really incredible and special football career for Ben Roethlisberger.
Part of that great clash with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. What will you remember about that tandem, their careers, as some of them won Super Bowls? Obviously, Phillip fell a little bit short there.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to look back at that and say, was this one of the greatest classes ever? And I think we've been saying that for some time. Among the 3 of them, you have 4 combined Super Bowl championships. You mentioned Phillip, of course, not being able to get there, but 4 rings nonetheless. And it certainly stacks up with the class of 1983. I think, this class that had Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson may very well have something to say about it, 15 years down the road, as we're talking about their ultimate retirements and their place in Canton, Ohio. But it is certainly right up there. Of course, Ben Roethlisberger, for all the greatness on the field, obviously off the field was not without controversy. Some very serious allegations that resulted in a suspension for him from the league over the early part of his career. Was able to avoid that controversy in the second half of his career. But any time you're talking about retirement, anytime you're talking about the person and the successes, it's only fair to mention the other parts of the story, the very serious parts of the story as well. So that will be a part of Ben Roethlisberger's story, no question about it. But we're just talking about football. We're talking about a guy who became and learned how to become a leader and took his lumps there as he tried to navigate what that was and being a representative for a very proud city and a proud franchise, and working with one of the best head coaches, 2 of the best head coaches to ever do it, in Bill Cowher, and then obviously the majority of his career with Mike Tomlin. Navigating egos, as I think that we have seen certainly with Antonio Brown, developing and changing his play style over the year, and again, overcoming and battling all of those injuries, as well as, of course, being a winner. Those are all things that you have to talk about when you talk about Ben Roethlisberger.
One more before I let you go. You bring up the word navigating. What do the Pittsburgh Steelers do now? How do they navigate life post-Big Ben?
Well, again, this is something that they should have been planning for the past year. Ben Roethlisberger took a very significant pay cut in order to get the team under the cap, in order to stay with the team, about 11 or so months ago. And so they have been planning for this to be Ben Roethlisberger's final season. I think it would be a failure by the Pittsburgh Steelers to go into the 2022 season in Week 1. If Mason Rudolph is their starting quarterback, that should elicit some groans and sighs from the Steeler faithful. They have, I believe, the number 20 overall pick by virtue of making the playoffs but being eliminated early. And so is that going to be too low to get a guy that you want to start in Week 1? Perhaps. I'm not sure that there's any pick in this year's draft that is high enough to get a guy that you want to start in Week 1. But this is a very desirable location. You have a fantastic defense. You have some wide receivers. You have a running back. They're going to have to figure out the offensive line that seemed to come together. And you have a fantastic head coach that guys want to play for, perhaps the preeminent players coach in the NFL in Mike Tomlin. So do they want to trade some draft capital in order to secure the likes of a Russell Wilson? Perhaps Aaron Rodgers can't make it to Denver. Maybe he looks at the Yinzers out in Pittsburgh. All of that may be pie in the sky right now, but I just find it hard to believe, even though Mike Tomlin has voiced his support for Mason Rudolph, and why would he not, because he is on the roster, I just find it hard to believe that this team that just made the playoffs, that's never had a losing season, doesn't know what it already has in Mason Rudolph, They have to understand that it's going to be difficult for them to make it back to the postseason with him, and they should be very, very aggressive here in what is believed to be Kevin Colbert's final year as general manager in securing a replacement, a successor for Ben Roethlisberger in the form of a veteran quarterback.
JJ, certainly appreciate providing us with the notes and the insight on Big Ben's retirement. Big Ben, of course, taking to social media, making the announcement himself. Speaking of social media, the Steelers putting this out for everything you've done for the organization, the city, and for the game. Hashtag #ThankYou7. All right, we're going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, the Big Ben retirement conversation continues. Pete Prisco will join us on the other side, CBS Sports HQ.